Hey, welcome back to Club Junkie's What's in the Bag for League Night Week 17. Now 16, of course, I did not play in my actual league. I had my annual guys trip that we go and play golf every year. The Sragwa, as we call it, it is named after a good friend who passed away in high school. So the acronym's not very good, but the cause and why we do it is always awesome. So had an absolute awesome time last week. We went down to the French Lick Resort down in French Lick, Indiana. It was really pretty amazing. I do have to say, we stopped actually on the way down on Thursday, played at a place called Hickory Stick down in just south of Indianapolis, and that was really nice. Unfortunately, it rains, it was cart path only, but a great layout, really fun course, some really brutal long grass around there, but had a good time there. I played pretty well. Other than the first hole, I've actually played really well, and then we went on to French Lick. So Friday there, at French Lick, we played the legendary Pete Dye course. We played that twice, and it is absolutely breathtaking. It is brutally hard. The driving on it is, you have to be extremely precise. And then, it's just all over the course. You've got to hit the ball in the fairway, in play, and you can score okay. But it was a whole lot of fun. The next day, on Saturday, we then played 36 at the Donald Ross course, which I think the layout is fantastic. I thought it was in very rough shape. If you're going down there, do not expect the condition of the fairways and stuff around there to be very good. I thought they were less than optimal for what that course costs, but we still had a whole lot of fun. And then on Sunday, we played 18 at the Sultan's Run, which is just like 30 minutes west of Indiana, or of the French Lick Resort, and that place was absolutely spectacular. The 18th hole, big waterfall, beautiful, beautiful course. Had a whole lot of fun there. So overall, I drove it streaky. I drove it really well on Thursday, drove it pretty darn well on Friday. Saturday, off the planet, couldn't find a drive to save my life. And then on Sunday, I was pretty average. I hit some good drives. I was hitting a lot of things off the heel, so I was getting it in play, but not hitting it very far. Drove it fairly well. 3-wood actually hit fairly decent. Hit a couple good shots with it. Didn't really have to use it off the tee much. I did a couple times at Sultan's Run. But at the Pete Dye and the Donald Ross course, didn't hit a lot of 3-woods. Didn't really need to. You were either laying up because it was tight, or you're just not hitting 3-woods. You're going to hit driver, or you're going to hit something smaller. So did hit actually a few good ones off the deck at Sultan's Run. They had some interesting some tee boxes there and some shots that I needed it. But that G440 LST and that crazy Mitsubishi Tensei AV Raw 75 T or 65 TX was actually pretty solid. I ended up getting around and hitting that pretty well. Wedges were really good. The PXG wedges hit great. The Apex AI 150s from Callaway hit those irons really well all week. The amazing part, I will say, that I didn't switch out any clubs throughout the week. I played absolutely awful on Saturday, which was a bummer. I played 36 straight holes of just pretty much hot garbage. And I played so poorly that I didn't even think, this whole second bag I brought, didn't even think it would actually help me. So I didn't switch anything out, which is pretty crazy. And then the putter was absolute fire all weekend. I think that kept me in. The days when I played terrible, I could at least putt. And I do have to say the first 2 days, putted absolutely lights out. The Pete Dye course, the greens are so pure, so fast. And I putted really well. I adjusted to it really well. And I wasn't necessarily making putts, but I was lagging stuff up to gimme range or tap-in range. And I did make a few decent putts there, but I rolled the ball really well with that Kevin Burns 93.06. So that was probably the highlight of the week in terms of how well I played. And equipment-wise was putter for sure. Irons would probably be second to that. I don't know. Irons and wedges, I did pretty well with both of those also. So same thing, even on Saturday. When I played really poorly, the wedges and the putter kind of kept me in it, even though I couldn't, get it in play very easily. Wasn't hitting any greens. I was at least able to get it on, get it somewhat close, and then make a putt for a bogey or whatever it was. But overall, just a great trip. Unfortunately, my team lost. We out of 460 total points, we lost by 11. We were down 20 going into Sunday. Sundays is our singles match play day, and we unfortunately got it down to 11. But we couldn't pull out the victory. So congratulations to the other team. They played really well, and they had a lot of guys play some really good golf over the course of the whole weekend. So we battled back a little bit, but we couldn't pull it off. So unfortunately, we did lose, so congratulations to them. But overall, a great, great weekend. So we're back into the swing of things for league night. It is week 17 out of our 20-week league. This is 17, so not much to go. Now, week 20 will come, and I'm going to keep playing as long as I can on those Thursdays because you know, why not? And if the weather's nice, I'm going to go play. But yeah, we're into week 17. I am unfortunately out of it in terms of the runnings for winning the league. I was in first place for a little while, and I've just missed too many weeks. So between work for travel, vacation, this trip, all that, I've missed a bunch of weeks. So I've definitely dropped down the standings. I think the last time I checked, I was in like 8th place. And then I missed last week as well. So I don't think I'm anywhere close to winning. I usually never am. But I still have fun playing with all those guys. So, but we're back into it, back at St. Clair Shores, back having a lot of fun. So we're going to start off at the top as we always do. And driver is going to be a little bit of an interesting one because I'm pretty much only going to show you the head, because the shaft that is going into this is a prototype shaft. I wouldn't even call it prototype. It's just not out yet. It'll be out later on, but it's not out yet. So, but I want to go play it because I have it. I got a tip on it. It's ready to roll. It's sitting actually right behind the camera, but I cannot show it yet. But it is this secret mystery shaft is going in the Callaway Elyte Triple Diamond TD head. Yes, this is the kind of famed unicorn Triple Diamond Tour Draw head. And even though it's TD, stands for Tour Draw, it's really not a draw head. It's really just meant to have like a slightly left, more starting line than the Triple Diamond, and then maybe fall left in terms of falling right with the Triple Diamond. So it just doesn't have basically any fade built into it, or not much fade built into it like the standard Triple Diamond. Same shape, a little bit more compact, deeper face. I hit this a little bit ago, and I wouldn't say forgot about it, but I hit it a little while ago and actually hit it really well. I hit it with an Artera EC1 Blue. And hit it really solid. I've swapped out the screw now so I can use all fit. So now I'm going to put in some other shafts and mess around with it. But a head that I've had some success with early in the year. Now this is, I think Callaway kind of says, in theory, it is probably the lowest spinning head they make in the retail lineup this year, which isn't a huge thing to me. I'm not a crazy low spin guy. I am keeping the heavyweight back. It's a 10 gram and a 4 gram. Keeping the 10 gram weight back, so that way it has a little bit more forgiveness, but typical gloss black crown, all that, but a really good driver. Like I said, I hit it really well, and even though I'm a guy who typically draws the ball, for whatever reason, super fade heads, and I only get along sometimes. It's weird. Sometimes I'll have these draw heads, and I think it's that CG. I'm able to just release it and hit it a lot better. So we're going to go this as a 10.5 head. We're going to play it at 10.5. With the shaft that's in it. The shaft is going to be, that's going in, is a 60 gram shaft, but I just unfortunately can't put it on camera yet. So you will see it eventually. Just got to wait probably about another month and you'll know exactly what it is. So Triple Diamond TD from Callaway, the Elyte Triple Diamond TD, that is going to be a driver for this week. Then we move into 3-wood, and 3-wood we are going to jump into kind of an old faithful that I've kind of been up and down in terms of loving and then sometimes not loving as much this driver, or this 3-wood. And this is the TaylorMade Qi35, the standard one, the core model as we call it. But I've liked this thing. When I first took it out, I was killing it, especially off the deck, hitting these high, nice long shots. And then I decided, hey, it's got a shot at the bag. Let's take it out again. And then really struggle with it. So we're going to go take it out again. We're going to go rock this thing again. I'm hoping that it still has some magic there. I would love to see this thing be really successful with me. I'm debating to reshaft it. That's the problem when you're working down in the shop. You got a lot of stuff. I'm debating on whether reshafting it again, because this thing is short. It's 42.5 inches long. Debating whether I go back to something a little bit 43, or if I need a little bit of a heavier weight in here. This thing's a little light in terms of swing weight. I want to say it's D0, so a little bit light. That may be why I'm a little bit more inconsistent with it. I like typically my woods to be around D2. But this thing here, great blend of long, hits it high, and it's pretty darn forgiving. You can hit it pretty much all over the face. It's going to go fairly straight, fairly long. You're not going to lose a ton of distance. So overall, really good looking head, a little bit bigger, profile, a little bit bigger look at address from last year from the QI10, but I don't mind that. I think it looks pretty good, and I like the silver carbon weave. I think I say that with every TaylorMade club that I bring out here, but a really good head, and of course shaft-wise, this is the Fujikura Ventus Red 7X. So this is the original one with the original Velo core, and this is a shaft I really like. I mean, it's got a little softer tip, launches in the air, but a really stiff handle, super accurate. I know everybody, when they talk about, like, higher launching shafts, whether mid-high, high launch, whatever they are, people always get so scared of, like, oh, they're not very stable, they just kind of feel like a noodle, whatever. This is a super tight shaft, and it's still high launching. So a little softer tip helps get the ball in the air, and as I've said, I've hit some absolute cannons. I probably hit one of the best 3-woods off the deck with this that I've ever hit with any 3-wood that I've ever owned. So this one's going to go in the back, see if we can spark the magic back up and we'll see. I've got the newer VeloCore Plus shaft that I could put in here, the 70 gram. So that might go in. We'll see. I don't know. I've got it sitting there. And it just keeps screaming to me that I need to use it in some way. So it might go in this club before we go play tomorrow. Because I'm recording this on Wednesday. So maybe it goes in tomorrow. Now, this part of the bag is going to get really interesting. I know I said it was interesting with the driver. This is going to be really interesting. So as you know, I did a little video recently with a bunch of Vega iron releases. And yeah, we're going to go with the first one. This is the Vega Mizar Tour Max, or sorry, Mizar Max utility iron. So this is the utility iron I talked about in the video. Now it is on the bottom, it says 4, but it's 20 degrees. So the 20 degrees for a lot of other brands is a 3 utility. So I don't know how far it's going to go, because shaft-wise, it is the length of a 4 utility shaft, but it's got this much stronger loft. So I don't know how far it's going to go. I'm going to play it in kind of the 7-wood, 3-iron hybrid, whatever you want to call it, spot. And I'm going to play it like it's 20 degrees. I don't know how it's going to fly. I mean, it does have this super hot face on it, and it's basically a face insert. I believe, if I remember correctly, it is titanium, but a great looking utility when you look down on it. The top line is fairly thin. It's not as chunky as other ones. Just a little bit of offset to it, and you just see a touch of the back muscle on there. Great sole design of the pre-worn leading edge, little trailing edge relief. Should get through the turf really quickly, but not really sure. Never hit it before, so we're going to find out what this thing does, how it flies, all that when we get out there. So it'll be exciting to hit, and we'll see. Distance-wise, it may go as far as the next club in the bag. It may go further. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to go high, low, anything. It's going to be pretty unique there. And then for shaft, we basically have this Vega utility shaft. And before I jumped on here, I did not look up the specs, so I don't know exact specs on it. It doesn't even have basically a flex or anything on it. It is basically just you can see some carbon weave. It's got an SS Pure logo on it, so it's been pured. You can see the Pure sticker on there and all that. No clue. Didn't look up the specs yet. I'll probably look them up before I go. It definitely feels a little bit on the softer side in terms of down, down near the tip section. So I'm going to assume it's going to launch fairly high, and it's probably going to have a really good smooth feel to it. But I'm not sure exact specs on it and weight, all that. I know you're like, you just created a video. Why the heck wouldn't you go and do the research on it? Because honestly, I just went and grabbed stuff and I put it together and let's just go. So, and it does also have an Ionic grip on it. So I haven't played Ionic stuff in a while. And these things honestly feel really good. I kind of forgot how much I like these Ionic grips. They're a little thin, but they feel really, really good. So we're going to try this thing out, see how it goes, and who knows? We'll see. It could be a great surprise. It could be something that is, I'm going to have 2 clubs in the bag that go the same distance. I don't know. We'll see. So then we'll move to the 4-iron spot, because that'll technically be 3-iron spot. The 4-iron spot is going to be another utility iron. This one I do know what it does, and this is the Mizuno Pro Fli Hi, the one from this generation, and this is the 4 on here. So this one here is a 4-iron. I've hit this before. It's kind of like a 195 club for me, maybe a little bit over 200 off the tee. But this one here, I love this version, this current one. It's a little easier to launch off the deck than the previous one. Flies a little bit higher. I think has a little bit softer and softer feel, a little quieter sound to it, and a really good look. I think it looks a little bit more compact than the previous one. The previous one was awesome off the tee, absolute cannon. This one here, I think it's a little bit more compact, a little bit more manageable using it as an actual iron off the turf and all that. Still goes a long way off the tee, but a really, really good utility iron here. So been hitting this a lot. This kind of actually took over from my eye crossover that I was playing before, and this kind of took over for it because it is really that good. Now in here, shaft-wise, this is going to be the Steelfiber HLS 880 in stiff. So this is like an 80 gram higher launching shaft. Kind of, I think they labeled as mid, but it's kind of mid-high launching. Good smooth feel to it. The Steelfiber products, of course, are a basically graphite core with a kind of woven steel material on top of it, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. But really good feel, very stable, very easy to hit. But this thing launches in the air. It's kind of one of those, as a traditional 4-iron, easy to hit greens, easy to hold them compared to other 4-irons. And I've been a big fan of this thing for a while. So that's going to go into the 4-iron spot. And yeah, so I'm going to have 2 4-irons. It's going to be interesting. And then for irons, going back to a set of irons I haven't played since, I think, February last year. I think the last time I played these irons was February. Yeah, it had to, because I think it was after the PGA show. So this is February, but these are the Maxfli XC2s. I got these when I went to a Maxfli media event back, again, in like February. And I tell you what, I was really, really surprised at how good these irons are. So these are a little bit lower price point, but they're built as a player's distance iron. They also make an XC1, a little bit bigger, a little bit more forgiving, a little higher flying, but this is the more player's distance version. This thing here is made out of steel, but it's forged out of steel, but it's also got a ceramic piece kind of co-forged into the face. And then they put the face on and create the grooves and all that. But it's basically meant to take some of that mass, move it out to the perimeter, make it a little bit more playable, a little bit more forgiving. Really tight space grooves. These are pretty strong lofted, but this like groove pattern, they seem to spin really well. When I played them down in Florida at that event, had no problem holding greens, even though these things are a little bit stronger lofted. Performed really well. They have a good feel to them. They've got a little more click than some other forged irons out there that are considered really soft. But I do have to say, for the price these are, I want to say they're sub $1,000. These things honestly perform really well. So I'm going to play 5 through pitching wedge in these. They got a good look to them. They're slightly longer blade length than some other irons, but minimal offset. Top line I'd call medium thickness. They look really good from address. The toe is a little bit more rounded, but a solid performing set of irons at a good price there. And turf interaction down there was really good. I haven't played them in soft conditions up here, but they do definitely have some camber to them, so I think they should get through the turf fairly well. But they launch pretty much mid-high, and they hold greens really well. So these are shafted up with True Temper Dynamic Gold mid 115 stiffs. It's a shaft that I've gotten a lot of set of irons lately, and it's just one that it kind of fits my game. Launches the ball higher, gets the ball up in the air, but still really consistent, good feel to it. And I was playing them in the AI 150s last weekend. I played them in my Cobras. I've got these shafts in a handful of sets. So something I really like, but 5 through pitching wedge in these guys here. And then the wedges, we're going to kind of go hodgepodge with wedges a little bit. Wedges are going to be a mix. So the first one is going to be the gap wedge, and this is going to be the brand new Callaway Opus SP. Now this is a 5210, which doesn't fit this set really well in terms of the gapping, but I've got 2 of these, so I want to go play them. I got to hit them out at Callaway at the kind of basically a few months ago. I went out there to go to Callaway, check out some of the new Apex irons and stuff like that. And they had these on the range, and I was able to hit them. And I think just from the short range session that I had, they actually feel really good. A little bit softer than the Opus that is currently out, or was just replaced by these. A little bit softer, and spin-wise, they seem to spin really well. So I'm excited to get these out there. This is a 5210 S grind. So again, S grind is going to have a little bit of trailing edge relief, a little bit of heel relief. Not that I'm going to hit too many open face shots with a 52. This is going to be pretty much full shots and shots of them, like just short of the green, want to pitch or chip it on, no trouble in front. It's going to be used for that. So excited to get these out and actually play them on the course. Like I said, on the range at the Elyte Callaway Performance Center. I hit them really well there and was excited to get them out on there. So it doesn't fit the gap exactly. I mean, sometimes when places send in media samples, they don't necessarily just send you exactly your specs. They send whatever's available so you can get photos and do all that stuff. So this is kind of that, but we'll make it work. It's going to be a little bit shorter in terms of distance than I usually play, but it should be totally fine. Now the shaft on this one is going to be a True Temper Dynamic Gold S200. The S200 is pretty much stock for pretty much all wedges out there. When you see a wedge shaft and it just says like the brand name or whatever, it's probably an S200. It's just kind of a slightly lighter than the S300, but it plays similar where it's kind of got that mid to mid-low ball flight and really good control to it. So that is in there in the S200. And then the sand wedge is going to be something brand new, again, with that Vega video. This is the Vega Alcor X. This is a brand new wedge from them, and it's got a pretty cool look. When you see it out here on the toe, you can see there's definitely a little bit more mass up here, but then you also know there's 2 screws on here, and what there is there's 2 openings, and there's weights that you can put in here, so your fitter can kind of dial this in. And this one here is actually set up, I just opened it up right before I started filming. This one's got an 11-gram weight up high and no weight in the bottom. So it's basically set to have a really low trajectory, a really flat trajectory, and then you could also change it and put some, you could have 2 different weights. They make a whole kit. I've got the whole kit here that you can put in different weights in here to kind of dial it in. So not only can you make the swing weight right if you're using a different shaft, something like that, but you could also change how that ball is going to fly a little bit. So I'm assuming this one's going to come out fairly low, fairly flat, still have a good amount of spin to them, but this is forged at a S20C carbon steel, so it should be really soft. I've played some Vega wedges before. They've all been really good feeling, so I expect this one to be as well. I like the shape on this one. The other Vega wedges that I played before, they've had kind of a really rounded leading edge. This is definitely a little bit straighter. Now the wedge is a little bit bigger in terms of profile. When you set it down, this is not super compact like some other wedges. It's got a little size to it, but I don't mind. It's pretty classic looking. Love the milling on the back, and then you can see the sole on here. Kind of has a nice bit of relief on the back, so you're going to have heel toe, trailing edge, so you're going to be able to open this thing up a little bit. The bounce is kind of pushed back a little, so even out of the trap, this should float pretty well if I'm in any of the bunkers. But excited to try this thing. Like I said, I've hit some Vega wedges before. I've been pretty impressed with them, and this one I think should be really soft, have some good spin, fully milled face, all that. So excited to see how this one flies and see if it does go a little bit flatter. Now the shaft in this one is a Shimada Wedge 120, so 120 gram wedge shaft from Shimada. If you don't know, Shimada is kind of a big a shaft company in Japan, but they make some high-end wedge shafts, or high-end shafts in general. So this is steel, 120 grams, and again, same thing. Had never played this one before, so it'll be really interesting on how it performs in terms of how it feels, all that. Definitely feels like the tip section is a little bit softer than end up in the handle, but we'll see how it plays. It should be really good feeling and should offer some decent versatility with that sole design. So Alcor X 56 degree, and then we're going to move into lob wedge, and lob wedge is going to be another Callaway Opus SP. Now this is the 60 14 degree W grind, and I think W grinds we're seeing more and more of them, but I think W grinds are always really kind of underrated. People don't give them a lot of love. They think of too much bounce, too much sole, all that. But I think they're more versatile than people give them credit for. If you look at this thing, there's a ton of camber. It kind of falls off in the back, so you're going to be able to open this up a little bit. Still, that leading edge isn't going to come crazy high off the ground. You're going to have a lot of float out of the trap if you play it out of there. If you're a steeper player with your lob wedge, this sole should get through the turf really quickly with a pretty minimal shallow divot. But overall, I think I like what the Callaway did with these new wedges in terms of looks. Same thing on this one. You're going to see some pretty good milling on the face here. And again, I hit this thing, or I don't know if I necessarily hit the 60-14W, but I hit some 60s, 50s. I hit a bunch of wedges at ECPC, and they're really good. So excited to get these out on the course, see how it plays. This is a little bit more compact compared to the Vega wedge, but these things feel really good, and excited to see how they spin when you're actually right around the green. I was hitting out on the range. I wasn't in a short game area, so just kind of hitting shots out there, and seem to be really good, but we'll see how they perform out on the course. So excited to get this one out there. And same thing, this is a True Temper Dynamic Gold S200, just like the gap wedge. So we'll probably be a little bit heavier than the sand wedge, but maybe only by a couple grams. So a good setup here. I think wedge-wise, it should be solid. I know some people look at the wedges that I bring and they're a hodgepodge and like, I can't do that. Yeah, I have no problem. And then we go to putter, and putter finally is going to be the Odyssey AI1 milled silver. Now this is the 7DB, or sorry, the 7T, which is also I think the double bend shaft one. So they make a few different versions of this head. This one here has the titanium AI face insert. That of course the AI face insert is meant to, wherever you hit it on the face, it should produce really consistent ball speed. And they used computer learning or machine learning, computer design to design this face. And the back of it is like very topographical. It's got a lot of like peaks and valleys and stuff to help that face kind of produce that similar ball speed across it. But a little bit more clicky, a little bit firmer feel compared to the standard AI1 face. This thing here is pretty cool. I love the ones, some of them on tour, that you can see there's actually wear marks in them, so that copperish patina or finish sounds like it wears off eventually if you hit enough putts with it. But I love the shape of this thing. It's kind of based a little bit more off the Toulon Las Vegas, but it's an Odyssey number 7. I've always been a big number 7 fan. I've owned a lot of number 7s in my time. But this one here, double bend shaft in it, so it is face balanced. When you hold it, meaning the face points straight in the air. Double bend shaft. This is an OG Stroke Lab shaft from Odyssey in here. I pulled this out of an old Toulon Chicago when they first started doing Stroke Lab, because I liked that it had the carbon weave up in the top, and I just thought it looked cool. And there's no counterbalance plug in the back of this one, so I've put this in a bunch. It's been in a handful of different clubs, but this one here, and it's 33 inches and have a Lizard Skins PG75 kind of pistol style grip on here. It's kind of green with some clovers. Really good feel to it. It's a little bit more tacky than you initially you kind of think it is. It looks like it might be a little slick or whatever, but when you get your hands on there, they kind of lock in. And the shape is good. I think it's got a good size to it. I think it's in between small and kind of mid-sized. So it fits my hands really well. I don't have a big hand. I wear like a medium large glove. But this setup should be pretty good. I built this a while ago. I took it and played with it, and then I just kind of haven't played with it for a while. So I wanted to take it back out. But this thing here is really solid. So I got the solid instead of the midnight blue finish, but a really solid putter there. So that is the what's in the bag for week 17 of Club Junkie League Night. So excited. Hopefully we'll play well. Weather's supposed to be nice, and I don't have any excuses. So Hopefully we'll play well, maybe get a few points. And of course, like always, next week I will fill you in on what worked, what didn't, how I played, and we'll jump into week 18's bag. So talk to you next week. Enjoy it.